Good morning. Welcome to NEK Vermont Rocks. My guests today are Colleen Moore and Jennifer Bergeron from the Newport Promise community. Colleen, about a year ago, you were on here talking about the Promise community. And what we talked about then has not only happened, it's happened with bells and whistles. You're ahead of where you thought you'd be. Tell us what happened.
Well, that's actually super, super exciting to see something come from like an idea all the way to being real. And so the state Promise community grants came from the Race to the Top funding that Vermont applied for in 2014. And so that money is being dispersed. Each community was allowed to have a number of community cafes or community meetings and identify what the needs were. And our group identified pretty clearly, the community feedback told us that childcare is a real need because, you know, from every standpoint, childcare is for economic development because young professionals can't move here unless they have a place to bring their children for childcare and then enroll their children in our schools.
And affordable childcare.
And affordable childcare. We do have a scholarship program that will be available for families to help support who qualify for subsidy to help support their attendance in our neighborhood. And just from a human perspective, right? When we do good things for children, we are making an investment like 20 years down the road, right? So our recent,
totally agree.
Community activism around substance misuse, that Promise Community is actually a strategy, right? Providing high quality, affordable childcare, and also support for parents, right? We're supporting families, not children in isolation from their parents, and so we plan to have a really vigorous parent engagement group meeting throughout the year, hopefully monthly, that I have yet to design, but is going to happen. I've reached out, and we're hoping to replicate a grow your own program, but we're going to call it Sow Your Own because we're like sowing the seeds of the future, right? So it'll be like a monthly, and it can be around food, it can be around sewing, it can be around knitting, it can be around building relationship with parents, right?
Building
so that
community.
when they are in crisis, they can come to us and say, I need help.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all need, help sometimes.
So how did you get into this, Jennifer?
Actually, Colleen was coming to do a training at my previous work on trauma in the ACEs. And she happened to just say, oh, we're trying to start up this childcare. And I had previously owned my own in-home registered home, but due to my location, it was just transportation you needed to get to me.
Right.
And I've always wanted to be in the childcare field because you also get to work with the families as well. And in other jobs that I had, I got to work very closely with the kids, but not with the families as well. And so when I heard that there was a position for a director, I was so excited to apply because I get to do both. I get to work, with the children and the families together.
So you came on board when?
In April.
Wow. And it's now the beginning of September.
Yes.
When did you have the first child register?
Yesterday.
Wow.
Yesterday was our first official packet in hand. My child's coming here.
So
that was.
This really is the perfect time to do this interview.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, it was exciting. It was like actually all this work, and now we're here.
Now we're here.
Yeah. I mean, I know you have the facility because the church was already standing and you get to use something that had been a childcare center before. But how did you get all of the other bureaucratic stuff lined up? Because there's more hoops than it's possible to imagine.
Yeah, so it's basically just immersing yourself in the state regulations.
Ooh, that sounds like so much
It is.
fun.
It is the what is it? What circle of hell is that?
So basically, the startup isn't always fun to begin with. You have to kind of the environments are the main part. You have to focus on the safety aspects. And all of that. So we had hoops to jump through, outlets to put in.
I hope you have a big coffee pot there.
We do. So it was just jumping through, making sure that all of our electrical things were adequate for what we needed. Things as simple as a dishwasher.
Yeah. And I want to interject here to say that this woman sitting right here, Jennifer Bergeron, is a miracle worker because she took us from stumbling around in a dark room thinking we really want to start a child care. She took us from that like imaginary place to serving 22 children in our community, 8 infants and toddlers and 14 preschoolers.
Wow.
And she is a superstar, a rock star, and she is my hero for doing this. And I just want to say thank you because not only Jen has donated like her time, items from her child care, her good heart, and all of these things are what go into like really making a strong program to support a community. And Jen also really strongly believes in community engagement, right, and supporting the whole family.
So you put in a ton of your own
Thank
time
you.
before you became staff, before you became the director.
No?
No, this was after.
Wow.
After. So at some points I was working 80 to 90 hours a week. Trying to...
That's commitment.
Yes, to be able to make sure that, you know, we did have deadlines and they weren't met, and then something would come up, and so I was like, we really need to, you know, get this going. This is what I want for a deadline, and so I just really spent nights. I was there till 12:30 at night sometimes, and weekends, just trying to get all the environments ready and set up and everything in line for our state licensing visit.
And that's taken care of. That's
Yes.
all in place.
Yes.
We are licensed?
Yes, we
That
are
is
licensed.
incredible.
Licensed to drive.
So now when does the first child literally cross your threshold and start?
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday. We will officially have our first children there. And
Just
I'm
one
excited.
or more?
Possibly more. I don't have the enrollment packets in hand, so I can't say that they'll be there. But I have a few parents that said they would be dropping off either today or tomorrow. So we're looking
great.
at possibly like 2 or 3 in the infant toddler room and about 2 or 3 in the preschool room.
So you'll have a nice slow growth process so all of you get to work. How many staff do you have?
We have 7, including me.
Wow.
So we have 2 lead teachers. Our preschool teacher is actually a licensed preschool teacher for the state of Vermont. And then we have a lead teacher that will be doing it in the infant toddler room. And then we have 3 assistant teachers that will assist in those classrooms. And then we have our food service provider.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that's 7 jobs
That's
that did not exist
Yeah.
in Newport, Vermont before Promise Community. And
That's
so like
really
investing back
amazing.
in community can be a really good strategy moving forward to build community capacity.
Have you managed to employ local people too?
So all of our employees are local people.
That's
and
even better.
Yes, and so and a few of our employees actually live right here in this neighborhood, grew up here, went to school here, and now are deciding this is the field they want to be in. We're also helping a few of our employees just start their career and start their education towards, you know, working up to being a teacher in the early childhood field.
Is there a way that you can help them with the education?
Yes, so we actually just enrolled 2 of our staff in a fundamentals course, which basically brings them from a trainee right to an assistant in 4 months. And we actually pay for that class for them. And we also have benefits for like paid mileage and different things so that they can actually have access to that. So we
Wow,
support
this is
them
really
in
a
their
career
education.
path.
Yes, it is.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what is so impressive to me is in Newport, I've watched so many projects start and struggle, and maybe 2 or 3 years later they really begin. But you have done this in a year, less than a year. It's just incredible. It's so impressive.
Well, it couldn't have happened without Jen's
Well,
leadership
that's probably
and guidance.
true, but it took all of you. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
Yeah.
just, I mean, what you've done with your 80, 90 hours a week is amazing. I hope, by the way, that you're going to go back to a more civilized way of working.
Eventually. In the child care field, you work long hours. It's just
Yeah.
what it takes to do it. But I love what I do, and I didn't actually grow up in Newport, but I've worked in the area in all different aspects with different age children, and
Sure.
and I'm just excited to make a difference and to be that place where we can actually grow as a family, as our staff,
Right.
but also create that family community with our parents and children. so that we can build a stronger community and start to connect people more.
Right. So you're taking care of babies and toddlers. What's the education component of your program?
So we use the creative curriculum, and actually it's a new thing to think infant and toddlers actually have curriculum, and it's a new thing coming up in the childcare field. But
we all like big words.
yeah. So
It makes us sound really important.
yes,
Right.
it does. So we're but yeah, it's just basically helping with schedules and routines and experiences, and just providing that loving, caring environment that allows children to feel safe. And when children feel safe, they're able to actually, be creative and explore and build on their developmental skills.
And then you take children up until the age of 5, is it 5 or 6?
Well, it'd be 6 depending on their birthday,
Yeah.
until they go to kindergarten.
So presumably you're going to be doing some sort of pre-kindergarten yourself.
Yes, so we have our pre-K classroom is actually just like any other preschool classroom that would be anywhere else. They have
Only better.
only better. But yeah, so we have a curriculum, and it's followed. The parents have access to that, so it's very structured. We base it around play. Play with a purpose is the best way for children to learn.
Right.
So yeah, they'll be going right from the toddler room and transitioning up to the preschool room in preparation for going to the elementary school. And we will partner with the local schools that our children will be going to help that transition happen.
Yeah, it's sort of fascinating how this is evolving. And knowing some of the children from the neighborhood, I mean, the need that's being fulfilled here is just amazing. It's really fascinating. Do you have an image of how you want this to be in the next year? So if a year from now, I'm assuming we're all still here, what can we look forward to?
Well, I'm really hoping to be connected with the community, so partner with like the community garden, the art center, the library, the play world, like really just kind of
The recovery center?
yeah, the recovery center,
which is right across the street.
Yeah. So all of our local community partners that we have, and kind of coming together, because that's how we build a stronger community.
Right.
So I hope to have that. Volunteers, we welcome volunteers to come, and anything that of their interests or skills that they have, reading with the children. So I hope to be very community based, and have just outside of our doors plus inside of our doors, as being very community oriented, offering parenting classes or classes around things that families and the community members are interested in, and actually being a host. We've actually done it a few times already, of providing childcare in the evening so that parents and community members can come and attend some of the public forums or meetings that are happening.
Yeah. So the next question I was going to ask was about the hours that you work, because people work crazy hours for their jobs.
Yeah,
As you know.
so we're open 7 to 5, but employees will be there 6:45 in the morning until probably about 5:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
Me, well, that could go till 8 o'clock at night.
Sure it could.
But our normal operation hours are
Yeah.
7 to 5 as now.
Would there be an option at some point of expanding that? I was thinking of where I used to work. Sometimes people would be mandated to work overtime. They had no
Yep.
choice about it. But if they had children that they had to pick up, they were totally screwed. I mean, people lost their jobs because of it, and that's just so challenging.
So we are hoping to actually expand in the future to before and after school, and
Yeah.
also offering for the older children, and then also different hours. So it'd be
Yeah.
great if we could have like a second shift and a third shift, just like
Those were
Just like work
identified
does.
really clearly
Yes.
in our
Yeah.
community cafes, that we have a lot of young single moms who are licensed nursing assistants.
Right.
And
you
so
know what happens to
work
them.
at Columbia, right? So they have swing shifts and
Yeah.
night shifts, and that's when they need childcare, right? So, and
Yeah.
then they need to be able to sleep during the day, right? If they're
What a
working at nighttime.
concept.
So,
Yes. Yes.
We have parents burning the candle at both
Yeah.
ends.
And that's not good for the children.
Yeah, ideally in the long term, we really want to be able to meet that need. In the short term, we want to make sure we have a robust, like financially secure program that's going to be around and have some staying power over the long term.
So you're
So we're
hoping
gonna build up to those lofty goals.
they're not that lofty. I mean,
Yeah.
seeing how far you've come in a year, I don't see why the rest isn't doable. Is 22 the max that you can take?
As of now, yes.
Um,
We could expand, that's just doing more state regulations
hoops.
and more hoops to jump
Ooh,
through
that's
to,
so much
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
to become that.
Every child in a child care is required to have a certain number of square feet, which is pretty amazing. For a high quality child care, your outdoor spaces
Yeah.
should be between, and tell me if I have this right, between 50 and 75 square feet per child in an outdoor
Yes.
play space. And so these regulations are in place to make sure that we're all
Right.
shooting for quality.
Oh, yeah.
But they are very detailed, very detailed, like,
Yeah.
you know, the number of inches from, yes.
Just stand on one and measure the inches around you. I mean, it can get a little silly, but now I understand the basic logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can see that you will be full very fast.
Yeah, I think once we just started kind of advertising last week. And we've had a lot of interest and calls coming in. So I think once
bet.
we have a few families in there and our name really gets out there, I think it won't take very
Yeah.
long for us to be full.
I love the name Community Cafe. Is that something you're going to be able to continue?
So Community Cafe is based on the World Cafe, which
Right.
is, it's a way of engaging people and getting feedback, and hopefully a really more respectful and genuine way than sometimes we do as like agencies, or they do as agencies. I think that the Third Street Hood Chat, as it is evolving, is really better than a community cafe in so
is a
many
community
ways.
cafe.
Right, exactly, it is. Like, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, this is a community program, right? So
Yeah.
investing back in our community and giving back to our community, because we cannot arrest our way out of this opiate epidemic, right? And so what
Right.
other strategies might work? Well, investing in children works, and we have a child care right on our street. So I just think that's
You are turning.
a win-win.
Exactly. You are turning into the community with the most resources.
Well, that is,
pretty
I never thought of it
impressive.
like
Yeah.
that. But that is pretty amazing. Yeah.
I mean, just look at Third Street, look at Prospect, and just sort of look at that little circle. And
yeah,
what
we
you
have the
there.
Recovery Center, the
Yeah.
Promise Community Child Care. We have within a block, we have the garden. We have lots of stuff,
Yeah.
actually.
And you're
Well, we
having
have this,
an-
and NEK-TV is right here.
Right? You have an engaged community.
We have Maple Fields, yeah, and we have an engaged
Yeah.
community.
That's pretty impressive. Be wonderful if that as a model can be replicated.
Well, it sure can, honestly, because Promise Community is kind of special, but the
Right.
Third Street Hood Chat and the bringing people together to talk about making our
Everything.
neighborhoods safe, yeah, which is everything, right?
Yes.
Because there are a lot of things that go into an opiate epidemic. That is a pretty incredible and powerful thing, and any neighborhood can do it.
And
That is the
Yes.
key. Like,
if you remove the phrase opiate epidemic, because we're sort of getting so hooked, and I use the word on
Yeah.
purpose.
That's a nice
that it
play
gets
on words.
silly
Uh-huh.
in some ways,
Right.
because the communities had some significant holes there before.
right. It's this
And
emblem.
like any, yes, exactly, and like
Uh-huh.
any community where there's a vacuum, something fills it. So it turned out to be opiates this time, but it could have been anything else.
Right. Right, and we use that
Yeah.
really emblematically to represent actually so many things that
Right.
that are that are not right with
Yes.
our world, and how we treat one another in
Exactly.
communities. So
Yeah.
and when we fix, if we move the needle on any one of those things, is it housing, is it jobs, is it childcare, is it food security? If we move the needle on any one of those things, we are positively impacting the opiate epidemic.
And the
Right.
next generation.
And the next
generation after that. So you've got a
Exactly.
good start.
Exactly.
You've really got some inner resources and some body resources if you get nutrition. And speaking of nutrition, I know you have somebody who you've hired to do the cooking.
Yes.
That's really good too.
Yeah, so we will impact food security by participating in the CCFAP, the food service
CCFP,
program.
yes, the food
Oh, I don't,
service
sorry, I didn't know those letters.
The RSVP, ABC.
Yes, the food
Of life.
program, which is, they're like, they kind of have guidelines, so they make sure that everything is nutritious and the right quantities. And also it's like a little bit of a reimbursement so that we can provide, quality meals and nutritious meals.
And you can eat them family style,
Yes,
which
our-
is really
yes,
important
we are-
from where I sit.
Yes, we do family style. We have all child size dishes and cups so that it looks just like it would if you were at home. The teachers sit with the children. We even have high chairs that are at level with our little tables so that the infants are not, towering above us.
Right.
They're at the same level as us.
Because after all, infants are delusional
Yes.
about that.
I know.
power
Once
anyway.
they get a little power, infants, like there's
right.
no stopping them.
Yeah, so we're all based around family style.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a great way to, to build relationships,
Yeah.
and it's a time where you can, have conversations and get to know each other.
Yeah. Can you also teach families about nutrition? And that's not necessary for every family, but it is for some.
Yeah, so we definitely plan on having nutritional activities and hopefully parent activities where we can have like a community dinner or something where, parents can come in and help with that and then be a
Right.
part of it. Our food service provider, Hannah Cornelius, she's really great and is excited to work with families and parents and volunteers to bring nutrition to the light
Right.
and to teach about and educate about healthy meals and how you can do that and affordably. So
Yeah.
that's something that we hope to implement very soon in our program.
When other people out in the community, particularly right now, have excess produce, are you a place that would welcome that?
Oh, yes, of course.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and Hannah really
absolutely.
has a commitment to like using as much locally sourced like food as we can, and we've already gotten some hopefully donations from other gardens. But yeah, the food, the church itself has a food shelf that
Yes.
they hold several times a month, and so we have been lucky. We're hoping to be lucky enough to intersect with the Vermont Food Bank and partner up and have a little more like buying power and purchasing power as like the collaborative of ordering some stuff from the food bank as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I know that there's, should we say, an epidemic of zucchini right now.
oh yeah.
Maybe you would welcome some of it.
Yes.
And tomatoes. And
Yes, we definitely do, because also right now, Hannah's making our own baby food. So instead of purchasing it, we're using
Good.
locally grown vegetables and fruits to do that. So we welcome any donations
Yeah,
that
so
anyone's
exciting.
willing
Yeah.
to share with us.
What about donations of other things like clothing, kids' clothing and toys?
Yeah, so any,
Obviously in good condition.
yes, in good condition. So anything that's in good condition, we would look at, make sure it meets state regs. There's certain things that we can and cannot have, but yeah,
Right.
we welcome donations. Because if we can't use it in the childcare, we might be able to actually offer it to families in need
Right.
that could have it at home.
Yeah. So how do people contact you?
So they can call us on our number, which is 334-4555.
Okay.
Um,
People don't have to remember this. It's going to
Yeah.
get flashed up on the screen. It's
Okay.
probably being flashed up.
So-
as
so
we
our-
speak.
I'm
like, what is our number? I don't even know.
So we have the number and then an email, or you can just walk through the door. We
Yeah.
would welcome people to just come in and check us out
And that's
do
the
it that
church
way.
on 3rd Street.
Yes, the church on 3rd Street.
And as a parent, like, you want to go there with your child and look at the space
Yeah.
and the classrooms. And that's always, they're lovely classrooms. So yeah, that would be like the most wonderful thing is if people just come on down and take a walk through, right? And
And that's actually something that it would be really great for everybody to do.
Yeah, we welcome community members or anyone that's interested to see what's going on. Our doors are open, so if they just wanted to come in and tour it and see where we are and what it looks like, yeah, anyone can come at any time.
I mean, we all know what it looks like from the outside.
Yes.
But that's different inside. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I've been to meetings there, sort of in that, quote, basement area, and I know it must look very different now.
The classrooms do.
Yeah.
The classrooms were former classrooms that the church had built this school. They had Sunday school classes there. So they're just, one is sunshine yellow and one is like just gentle powder blue. And they're just beautiful spaces. They have so much natural light.
That's great.
Right, for a church basement, you would be quite surprised, but,
For
but
any
our
basement,
classrooms
right.
have like just windows and
Yeah.
natural light, and it's just really a lovely spot.
So the church is also benefiting from you being there if they can use it for Sunday school.
No. No.
No, they're not doing that.
Yeah, well,
I misunderstood.
No, that's
Well-
okay. Those spaces were once used for Sunday school,
Ah.
but our program is like, again, is
separate.
licensed under
So
like the
nobody
state
else
of
can
Vermont,
use it.
right?
Yeah.
So it is a secular school. It cannot be a Sunday school.
Yeah. That's good. Does the school have other opportunities that other people can come in and teach other things?
yeah, so that's our volunteers. So we hope to have volunteers, and anybody can come and reach out to us and let us know. I'd like to bring a culture and all different cultures in. I think it's fun. I think it's a great way for kids to,
How about music?
yes, music. We love music. Music is part of our everyday,
Yeah.
and dance. But yeah, anything that anyone has to offer, to bring in, we would welcome it.
For a while, there was a community volunteer who was going into another program, and what she was doing was teaching little kids who were like little sponges, obviously, French,
Oh, awesome.
and with puppets. And maybe she'd be interested in doing that again. I thought it was so cool when I
That is
heard that
wonderful.
she was doing it.
I think that is
Yeah.
amazing. We really hope to leverage our
Yeah.
intergenerational human capital, right? And nobody's going to ride along with their pony and save us. But we
Really?
have tremendous assets in our community
Right.
members, right, who have come here to either maybe retire and
Yes.
enjoy our beautiful lake. And they have skills
This
to
is
offer. and
somebody
we're
who
seeing
is
that.
retired. And
Yeah.
she was doing it for Head Start for a while.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're already leveraging our intergenerational capacity as well through our board of directors, right? So we have our church, 2 of our board of directors are members of the United Church of Newport, and one has skills in money. Like, I don't have that, but right? And one was a teacher, and so there are so many people who live in our community who have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And want to engage, and be a part of everything, right? And way
And
more fun that way.
There must be so many multicultural opportunities here. I mean, sometimes we forget that this is a multicultural community.
Yeah, we do forget that, we come from a long, really close relationship with our neighbors in the province of Quebec, right?
Right.
So there is that history. There is our indigenous history
Exactly.
here in Vermont, right? That has been essentially erased from us and from our living knowledge and
And then
understanding.
there are all of us foreign immigrants
And then there's like that also.
who also can bring a different perspective
Yeah.
that's sort of fun for kids.
Yeah.
So we're really hoping that this effort is going to be, it's turning out to be a total cornerstone for neighborhood revitalization, right?
Yeah.
Because at the 3rd Street meeting that took place in the church, the Promise community provided childcare, and 75 people came, and many of those people were parents,
Yeah.
single parents who were able to come because childcare was offered. So we're not only talking like engagement in our community and in our local regional economy, but we are talking engagement with the civic process, right?
There are so many meetings that people with kids just can't go to.
Right. And
It's
so
so
how do we
complicated.
encourage people to engage in our democracy, our very,
Right.
like, you know.
And yet make
munis-
it so difficult for them, they can't even begin to
Mhm.
get involved. And then we blame them for not being involved.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that circular logic.
Yeah, and we just distance people.
Mhm.
So that's making such a
I
change.
get it. Kick the table.
Yeah, leave the table alone.
Okay, I'll try.
We've all collapsed it more than once. So we're just about out of time. This is really exciting to me, and I would love you both to come back in less than a year so that we can talk about really how it's changed again, because, I mean, community change and community engagement is so encouraging. It's such a difference, makes such a difference. Are you willing to do that? I mean,
Yes,
obviously,
of
Colleen's
course.
been before.
Yeah, right. I'm
Yes,
like,
I would love
any
that.
chance I get.
Good.
Love
That would be great. And what about at some point a camera coming into your childcare centre? Is there a way around that?
Yeah, so that we can just get releases from parents. I can have that conversation
Yeah.
and make that happen.
Something about I mean, it's fine coming into a studio, but there's something about the real live action with somebody with better camera skills than mine. But,
Yeah, I think that would be great to see
Yeah.
actually what actually is happening in the classrooms and how we're actually implementing everything that we're saying we are.
yeah, and particularly a community meal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you both so much for coming.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us. And yeah, people come and enroll in our childcare
Right.
because
Okay.
we're ready to rock and
Thank
roll.
you.